Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another week of Classic Country A to Z. Tonight will feature all Tanya Tucker songs. Whenever I tackle a female artist's collection of songs, I'm always sort of prepared to have to adjust the gender references in the songs, but possibly because all of the Tanya Tucker songs, hits that I'm going to do tonight, were all written by men. There was relatively little gender adjusting required. So anyway, of course, as always, one original song in the middle and a gospel song at the end. So Tanya Tucker had her first hit when she was just 13 years old. Making her the youngest star of any of the country singers that I have or will cover in this series. She was also one of very few child performers who matured into adulthood without losing her audience. Her recording career began in 1972 and continues to this day. So, as I mentioned, her first hit came with her first ever release, 1972, when she was just 13 years old. This song reached number 6 on the country charts for her, and the very next year, Helen Reddy recorded this song, and she had a number 1 pop hit with it. The song was written by two guys, and as a fun fact, the chorus of this song is virtually identical to the hymn Amazing Grace. This song is called Delta Dawn. Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on? Could it be a faded rose from days gone by? And did I hear you say he was a-meeting you here today to take you to his mansion in the sky? She's 41 and her daddy still calls her baby. And all the folks around Brownsville say she's crazy, 'cause she walks around town with a suitcase in her hand, looking for a mysterious dark-haired man. Well, in her younger days they called her Delta Dawn, the prettiest woman you ever laid eyes on. Then a man of low degree stood by her side and promised her he'd take her for his bride. Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on? Could it be a faded rose from days gone by? And did I hear you say he was a-meeting you here today to take you to his mansion in the sky? Yeah, did I hear you say he was a-meeting you here today to take you to his mansion in the sky? Well, that's probably one a lot of you know. Let's see, I've got Julie, Mary Pat, and Gail. Thank you for tuning in and commenting. So the very next year, 1973, when Tanya Tucker was 14 years old, she had her first number 1 hit with this next song. And this song was co-written by Dallas Frazier, who wrote so many big country hits for several artists. This is called What's Your Mama's Name? What's your mama's name, child? What's your mama's name? 30-some-odd years ago, a young man came to Memphis, asking about a rose that used to blossom in his world. Well, people never took the time to mind the young man's questions, till one day they heard him ask a little green-eyed girl, "What's your mama's name, child? What's your mama's name? Does she ever talk about a place called New Orleans? Well, has she ever mentioned a man named Buford Wilson? Well, what's your mama's name, child? What's your mama's name?" 20-some-odd years ago, a drunkard down in Memphis lost a month of life in labor to the county jail, just because he asked a little green-eyed girl a question and offered her a nickel's worth of candy if she'd tell. What's your mama's name, child? What's your mama's name? Does she ever talk about a place called New Orleans? Well, has she ever mentioned a man named Buford Wilson? Well, what's your mama's name, child? What's your mama's name? A year and some odd days ago, an old man died in Memphis, just another wayward soul the county had to claim. Inside the old man's ragged coat, they found a faded letter. It said, "You have a daughter, and her eyes are Wilson Green." So what's your mama's name, child? What's your mama's name? Does she ever talk about a place called New Orleans? Well, has she ever mentioned a man named Buford Wilson? What's your mama's name, child? What's your mama's name? What's your mama's name, child? What's your mama's name? All right. Gail, you probably know a bunch of these songs. Okay, Tanya's next number one hit also came in 1973 when she was just 14. This relatively mature subject matter song for a 14-year-old was written by Curly Putman, another legendary country songwriter. And perhaps Tanya got away with this, tackling such a mature subject, because the song is written from the perspective of an 11-year-old kid. So this song is called Blood Red and Going Down. That Georgia sun was blood red and going down. That Georgia sun was blood red and going down. Daddy said, "Now come, boy, we're headed down the road to Augusta." Faintly through his clenched fist he called Mama's name, and then he cussed her. He said, boy, you're still young, but some dude has come along and stole your mother. But you can't steal a willing mind, 'cause Mama's always looking for another. That Georgia sun was blood red and going down. That Georgia sun was blood red and going down. With dusty teardrops on his face, my daddy cried in big steps he was taking. And halfway running to keep up, my shorter legs were so tired and shaking. Well, where did I go wrong, boy, and why did she leave us both this way? At times like these, a child of 10 never knows exactly what to say. That Georgia sun was blood red and going down. That Georgia sun was blood red and going down. We searched in every bar room and honky-tonk as well. And Daddy finally found them. Well, Lord, you know the rest is hard to tell. He sent me out to wait, but scared I looked back through the door. And Daddy left them both soaking up the sawdust on the floor. That Georgia sun was blood red and going down. That Georgia sun was blood red and going down. That Georgia sun was blood red and going down. That Georgia sun was blood red and going down. Okay. Okay, Gail, I knew you would know these. All right, next up is Tanya's third sequential #1 hit. This one released in late 1973, and once again, sort of a bit of a mature theme for a 14, 15-year-old girl or kid. This song was written by David Allan Coe, and it also was a bit of a crossover hit for Tanya as it reached number 46 on the pop charts, Billboard Hot 100. This song is called Would You Lay With Me? Would you lay with me in a field of stone? If my needs were strong, would you lay with me? Should my lips grow dry, would you wet them, dear, in the midnight hour? If my lips were dry, would you go away to another land, walk 1,000 miles through the burning sand, wipe the blood away from my dying hand? If I give myself to you, will you bathe with me in the stream of light when the moon is full? Would you bathe with me? Will you still love me when I'm down and out in my time of trial? Will you stand by me? Would you go away to another land, walk 1,000 miles through the burning sand, wipe the blood away from my dying hand? If I give myself to you, will you bathe with me in the field of stone? If my knees were strong, would you lay with me? Yes, if my needs were strong, would you lay with me? All right, goofed up that little lyric ending there, but oh well. Okay, next up, Tanya's fourth number one hit, this one from 1975. This song was also a crossover hit when it reached number 37 on the pop charts. The writers who wrote this song, a couple of guys who wrote this song, said the idea for the song came from a movie called The Rainmaker, whose heroine was Lizzie Curry. This song is called Lizzie and the Rain Man. It's a bit of a story song, kind of the whole plot of the movie, I guess. He came riding in on the sunrise of a hot West Texas day, a fancy man in a painted wagon with some fancy things to say. He said, "It looks like you folks need some water. Well, water is my game, and for the small price of $100, I bet you I can make it rain. So step back, non-believers, or the rain will never come. Someone start that fire burning, somebody beat the drum. You know, some may think I'm crazy for making all these claims, but I swear before this day is over, you folks are gonna see some rain." Well, they all just stood there staring, trying to believe, but there was one named Lizzie Cooper who said he was a lying cheat. She said, "You call yourself a rain man? Well, you ought to be ashamed, starting all these people dreaming, thinking you can make it rain." He said, "Step back, non-believers, or the rain will never come. Someone start that fire burning, somebody beat the drum. You know, some may think I'm crazy for making all these claims, but I swear before this day is over, you folks are gonna see some rain. Hey, Lizzie, well, a man's gotta have a dream, and if you can't walk on the inside with me, I'll meet you in between. Oh, come with me, Lizzie, and the stars will write your name. And if you still think I'm lying to you, look yonder, there comes the rain. So step back, non-believers, or the rain will never come. Someone start that fire burning, somebody beat the drum. You know, some may think I'm crazy for making all these claims, but I swear before this day is over, you folks are gonna see some rain. Yeah, I swear before this day is over, you folks are gonna see some rain." right, now next, Tanya's fifth number one hit. This one also from 1975, when she would have been about, I don't know, 16, 17 years old. I keep repeating her age because it's just astounding to have this kind of a career at that age. This song is called The San Antonio Stroll. When I was a child down in South Carolina, soon's the Saturday sun went on down, my folks and sister would go and leave me home all alone, going to that big square dance in town. Well, my old radio would play that old Opry show, so I never got lonesome or blue. I'd fall asleep in my chair and dream that I was right there, just singing the whole night through. When my folks would come home, they'd be humming a song. Moma'd smile and say, "Child, don't you know, there ain't a thing in this world can make you fall in love, boy, like the San Antonio Stroll." Well, the day finally come when my mama said, "Son, it's about time you came with us as well." Well, I had me a time, yes, I danced all night, till they rang that old cracked midnight bell. Then the lights went down low, the fiddler picked up his bow, and he played something steady and slow. And my sister Irene and her husband-to-be, they held hands and began to stroll. I'd been away for a while, but it still brings a smile when I think of the way that it goes. Now I'll sing it to you just so we both can do that old San Antonio stroll. Now I'll sing it to you just so we both can do that old San Antonio stroll. All right. Now, next one. Another 1975 hit for Tanya. This one reached number 4 on the charts for her that year. And this sort of great up-tempo, toe-tapping, earworm chorus breakup song is called "Don't Believe My Heart Can Stand Another You." I don't believe my heart can stand another you. Well, I need someone who'll be gentle, kind, and true. So go your way, I've had enough. The game you play is just too rough. I don't believe my heart can stand another you. Of all the people in this world, to be standing at my door, telling me he left me, and oh, the one I left you for. Well, I sat down and thought it over, and Now I've come to this conclusion. I don't believe my heart can stand another you. I don't believe my heart can stand another you. 'Cause I need someone who'll be gentle, kind, and true. So go your way, I've had enough. The game you play is just too rough. I don't believe my heart can stand another you. Now I've tried every way I know to get you out of myself. Been as far down as my knees, but so far it has been no help. And with you already here, what I must say gets complicated. I don't believe my heart can stand another you. I don't believe my heart can stand another you. 'Cause I need someone who'll be gentle, kind, and true. So go your way, I've had enough. The game you play is just too rough. I don't believe my heart can stand another you. I don't believe my heart can stand another you. Well, I need someone who'll be gentle, kind, and true. So go your way, I've had enough. The game you play is just too rough. I don't believe my heart can stand another you. No, I don't believe my heart can stand another you. Okay, now the next one is a love song that was actually written by Dave Loggins. Was a number three hit for Tanya in 1976. This one is called "You've Got Me to Hold On To." Don't it make life just a little more special, knowing you've got someone who cares? You won't ever have to be lonely, always have somebody there. Don't it make everything a little bit easier, knowing you have someone like me, a hand to take you to the light when it gets a little bit too dark to see. That's when I like to stop and remind you that you got me to hold on to, baby. Oh, you got me to hold on to. Yes, and don't it make every chance worth taking, even when you try and fail? And don't it make all the pain worth aching to look around and find somebody there? And don't it make everything a little bit easier, knowing you have someone like me, a hand to take you to the light when it gets a little bit too dark to see. That's when I like to stop and remind you that you got me to hold on to, baby. Oh, you got me to hold on to, and I got you. got you. High or low, happy or sad, you know I'm gonna be right here, sharing your smiles and drying your eyes, anytime and anywhere, 'cause you got me to hold on to. Oh, you got me to hold on to, baby, and I got you. I've got you. Okay, now we've reached the portion of the show where I do one of our original songs that my friend Charlie and I wrote. I know that for those of you who have been tuned in for a while, every time I do this song, I mention that Charlie has some experience writing murder mystery short stories, and I had challenged him at one point to write a murder mystery song, and so this is that song, and this is called "Who Killed T-Bone McCrae?" No one knows to this day who killed T-Bone McCrae. No clues were left at the scene. His body was found lying dead on the ground in Old Man Miller's ravine. From his head to his toes he was riddled with holes, shot by the missing gun. When his final breath fell and he was headed to hell, well, that's when the killer had run. Folks cried and they prayed, but no one could say who killed T-Bone McCrae. 50 years to the day, still no one can say who killed T-Bone McCrae. Well, no one was shocked that a gun had been cocked in T-Bone's pretty face. He was 6'2", with eyes so blue, and blessed with a charm and grace. But his reputation was one of temptation. He'd steal your girl away, and more than one man had vowed, deadly and loud, that someday T-Bone would pay. Folks cried and they prayed, but no one could say who killed T-Bone McCrae. 50 years to the day, still no one can say who killed T-Bone McCrae. The Bible, it says that when a man sins, only the Lord shall avenge. But when it's your girl he's stolen from you, the only thing left is revenge. The gun never found is buried underground by Old Man Miller's oak tree. Well, how do I know? 'Cause I'm the last one who saw T-Bone fall to his knees. So there's no need to pray, 'cause now I can say who killed T-Bone McCrae. 50 years to the day, and I'm here to say I killed T-Bone McCrae. Okay. This next song, back to Tanya Tucker, this next song became Tanya's sixth #1 hit when it hit the charts in 1976, when Tanya was still only 18 years old. This also was somewhat of a crossover hit for her, as it rose to number 32 on the top 100 hits pop charts, and it rose to number 25 on the adult contemporary charts. This song is called Here's Some Love. Hey, Craig, thanks for tuning in. Glad to have you with us tonight. I've been watching you crying, and when you do, I just feel like dying. Well, I could give you something that would ease your mind, yeah. Well, let me give it to you. Just a little bit will do you. It's something you've been needing for a long, long time. Here's some love. Take a little bit of it home with you. Keep it close to you. Save it for a rainy day. Here's some love. Take a little bit of it home with you. It'll grow with you. And someday you can bring it back to stay. Don't you keep me waiting. What's the use in hesitating? You know as well as me it's what you're looking for, yeah. Well, put your lips on mine now, now, now. We could make it feel so fine now. You never have to be without it anymore. Here's some love. Take a little bit of it home with you. Keep it close to you. Save it for a rainy day. Here's some love. Take a little bit of it home with you. It'll grow with you. Someday you can bring it back to stay. Yeah, here's some love. Take a little bit of it home with you. It'll grow with you. Someday you can bring it back to stay. Now, the next year, 1977, Tanya had a number 7 hit with this next song, and while this is one of the more obvious songs that required gender adjusting for me to sing, even in the title, this song was also written by a guy. This song, well, in Tanya's version, it was called It's a Cowboy Loving Night, and this, to my version tonight will be It's a Cowgirl Loving Night. They're tuning those twin Texas fiddles. It'll soon be holding time. I'm in such an easy mood. It's close to 4/4 time. All alone at a table for 2, just me and the candlelight. Shuffle with me, Houston stranger. It's a cowgirl loving night. My last good time was in Dallas. We danced every song. We promised each other forever. Forever didn't last that long. Oh, faded love is playing. It could be the time is right. Well, shuffle with me, Houston stranger. It's a cowgirl loving night. It's It's been so long since Dallas, many lonely nights have come and gone. It may not last but a dance or two, but it might last all night long. Oh, faded love is playing, it could be the time is right. So shuffle with me, Houston stranger, it's a cowgirl loving night. Yeah, it's been so long since Dallas, many lonely nights have come and gone. It may not last but a dance or two, but it might last all night long. Oh, faded love is playing, it could be the time is right. So shuffle with me, Houston stranger, it's a cowgirl loving night. Please shuffle with me, Houston stranger, it's a cowgirl loving night. Now our next one is sort of a catchy dance tune that Tanya released in 1980 and had a number 10 hit with on the charts. 1980, however, was long before the whole line dancing, country line dancing craze of the early 90s. But I'm guessing this song would have been played in all of those country dance clubs that dotted across the country in the 90s. This song was actually released as a single from the movie Smokey and the Bandit 2 soundtrack, and it's called Pecos Promenade. And sort of one little side story, I've been listening to this song for decades with no idea of what Pecos, Texas was like. But about a year ago, our son, Nick, and his fiancée, Lindsay, were moving from Charlotte, North Carolina to Phoenix, Arizona. And on the drive to Phoenix, they passed through Pecos, Texas. And just to sum it up, I guess, from their perspective, Pecos was not one of the rose cities of Texas, to put it mildly. They were not really impressed with Pecos, Texas. Anyway, Pecos Promenade. If you got a road map of Texas, where you can see that it's a wide open state, from Amarillo down to Beaumont, where you can bet that it's a honky-tonkin' place. Well, they might like to rock and roll in Dallas, or disco down on Galveston Bay. When God made them West Texas cowgirls, He gave them the Pecos Promenade. Lead off with a Cotton-Eyed Joe, bucking winged and heel and toe. Hold me close for the Pecos Promenade. Beer sign hanging by the door, sawdust on an old dance floor. Tip your hat for the Pecos Promenade. When the sun starts going down on the prairie and the starlight falls on the stage, well, that's when this old cowboy needs a cowgirl to do the Pecos Promenade. Tonight's the first time I saw her. We can hear those twin fiddles play. When Houston starts to feel like Lone Star heaven, as we dance the Pecos Promenade. Lead off with a Cotton-Eyed Joe, bucking winged and heel and toe. Hold me close for the Pecos Promenade. beer stein hanging by the door, sawdust on an old dance floor. Tip your hat for the Pecos promenade. That's when this old cowboy needs a cowgirl to do the Pecos promenade. All right, now, in 1980, at the age of 22, Tanya started dating Glenn Campbell, but that only lasted a year. And then through the early 80s and Tanya's early to mid-20s, her hits sort of came to an end as her lifestyle got a little wilder, to the point that by the late 80s, her family confronted her and persuaded her to enter the Betty Ford Center. But by the late 80s, as she straightened herself back out, she was back on the top 10 on the charts again with a second surge in her career that would run into the mid-90s. So this next song, 1987 song, was one of her first number one hits back on the charts. This song was written by Paul Overstreet and Don Schlitz, and both Paul Overstreet and Paul Davis sang on Tanya's recording of the song. And this song is about the importance of love, and it's called I Won't Take Less Than Your Love. How much do I owe you, said the husband to his wife, for standing beside me through the hard years of my life. Shall I bring you diamonds? Shall I bring you fur? Say the word and it's yours. And his wife said, I won't take less than your love, sweet love. No, I won't take less than your love. All the riches of the world could never be enough, and I won't take less than your love. Well, how much do I owe you? To the mother said the son, for all that you have taught me in the days when I was young. Shall I bring expensive blankets to cast upon your bed, and a pillow for to rest your weary head? And the mother said, I won't take less than your love, sweet love. No, I won't take less than your love. All the comforts of the world could never be enough, and I won't take less than your love. Well, how much do I owe you, said the man to his Lord, for giving me this day and every day that's gone before. Shall I build a temple? Shall I make a sacrifice? Tell me, Lord, and I will pay the price. And the Lord said, I won't take less than your love, sweet love. No, I won't take less than your love. All the treasures of the world could never be enough, and I won't take less than your love. No, I won't take less than your love. Little stumble there in the end. Next up is a relationship advice song that was Tanya's 9th number one hit when this one hit the charts in 1988. And this song is called It Don't Come Easy. good friend of mine. Well, he spends all of his time trying to make love work out right. But the woman he loves, she don't feel the same. I don't know much about love, but at least I've learned one thing, that if it don't come easy, you better let it go. 'Cause when it don't come easy, there's no natural flow. Don't make it hard on your heart. You might be better off alone. If it don't come easy, you better let it go. I know a woman, she's got a heart of gold. You know she'd do anything to make her man feel right at home. But the man she loves, he's a restless kind of guy. I wish there was a way I could make her realize that if it don't come easy, you better let it go. 'Cause when it don't come easy, there's no natural flow. Don't make it hard on your heart. You might be better off alone. 'Cause if it don't come easy, you better let it go. Let it go. Though it's hard, I know. Cut it loose. I tell you it's no use. 'Cause if it don't come easy, you better let it go. 'Cause when it don't come easy, there's no natural flow. Don't make it hard on your heart. You might be better off alone. 'Cause if it don't come easy, you better let it go. Yeah, 'cause if it don't come easy, you better let it go. All right, we'll keep driving through. Next up, Tanya's 10th and last #1 hit on the country charts. This song, this love song, reached #1 in 1988 for Tanya when she was still only 30. And the song is called Strong Enough to Bend. There's a tree out in the backyard that never has been broken by the wind. And the reason it's still standing, it was strong enough to bend. For years we have stayed together as lovers and as friends. What we have will last forever if we're strong enough to bend. When you say something that you can't take back, big wind blows and you hear a little crack. When you say, hey, well, I might be wrong, but we can sway with the wind till the storm is gone. There's a tree out in the backyard that never has been broken by the wind. And the reason it's still standing, it was strong enough to bend. When you start thinking that you know it all, big wind blows and a branch will fall. you say, hey, this job takes two. Or we can sway with the wind till the skies turn blue. There's a tree out in the backyard that never has been broken by the wind. And the reason it's still standing, it was strong enough to bend. Yes, the reason it's still standing, it was strong enough to bend. Now we have a couple of slower songs that in 1981, Tanya had a number 12 hit with this next sad breakup song. This one's called Oh, What It Did to Me. I saw you tonight in his arms so tight. I watched as he held you tenderly. You say when he held you, it did nothing to you, but oh, what it did to me. You say when he kissed you, you didn't feel a thing. Well, I felt enough for all three. You want me to believe it did nothing to you, but oh, what it did to me. And I felt the warm tears roll slowly down my face as I watched another slowly take my place. And now that it's all over, you want me to forget and pretend that things are like they used to be. That it was just a kiss that did nothing to you, but oh, what it did to me. You want me to believe that it did nothing to you, but oh, what it did to me, to me. That's our sad song. Well, I guess this next one's kind of a sad song too. Okay, next one reached number 2 for Tanya in 1991 and was the title track to her album that year. The song and the album on which it was released are called Without You, What Do I Do With Me? What do I do now that I'm on my own? What we did together beats anything I've done alone. Since the day you left, I've been asking myself, is this how it's gonna be? Without you, what do I do with me? I don't want to go out, but I can't stay home. I don't need company, but I don't want to be alone. And to tell myself that I'm doing well is only making believe. Without you, what do I do with me? Without you, where do I go? Where do I turn? I'd sure like to know. What do I do with all of my plans? And how do I spend all this time on my hands? I've tried everything, I've been racking my brain. It must be as bad as it seems. Without you, what do I do with me? Without you, what do I do with me? All right, so our last Tanya song for tonight is a little more up-tempo, thankfully. This was her first release in 1992. Song reached number 3 on the charts for her that year. This is sort of a down-and-out song that leans heavily on minor chords, but at least it's a little up-tempo. This is called Some Kind of Trouble. Late one night I heard a knock on my door. No surprise, it was my landlord. He notified me I was late with the rent. So what can you do when your last dollar's spent? You got trouble, some kind of trouble. I called up my baby for a little advice, 'cause my sugar baby always treats me so nice. I had a funny feeling that she wasn't alone when I heard another voice whisper, hang up the phone. I got trouble, some kind of trouble. Trouble in my heart, trouble in my mind. There's never any trouble for me to find. Some kind of trouble. I went to my boss, said I need a little time to work on this poor broken heart of mine. He said, I'd like to help you, I've been there before, but the problem is, boy, you don't work here no more. You got trouble, some kind of trouble. Trouble in my heart, trouble in my mind. There's never any trouble for me to find. Some kind of trouble. I was down about as low as a body can be, so I talked to my preacher about praying for me. He smiled and he said, child, you're not alone, 'cause all God's children gotta deal with their own kind of trouble. Some kind of trouble. Trouble in my heart, trouble in my mind. There's never any trouble for me to find. Some kind of trouble. Some kind of trouble. I'm always in trouble. Some kind of trouble. Trouble for me to find. Okay, now our gospel song. Written back in 1925, seems nearly every country artist has recorded this song, including George Jones, who did it as a duet with Patti Page. This is Precious Memories. Precious Memories and a little more of a slightly more up-tempo country beat to it. Less of a hymn, it seems. Precious memories, unseen angels sent from somewhere to my soul. How they linger ever near me, and the sacred scenes unfold. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. Precious Father, loving Mother, fly across the lonely years, and old home scenes of my childhood in fond memory appear. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. As I travel on life's pathway and know not what the years may hold, as I ponder, hope grows fonder, precious memories flood my soul. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. And there we have it. On to our benediction song to send you on your way. May the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near or far away. May you find that long-awaited golden day today. May your troubles all be small ones, and your fortune 10 times 10. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May you walk with sunlight shining and a bluebird in every tree. May there be a silver lining back of every cloud you see. Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrows, never mind what might have been. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May you walk with sunlight shining and a bluebird in every tree. May there be a silver lining back of every cloud you see. Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrows, never mind what might have been. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. And there you have it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thank you for those who are watching later as well. As always, please feel free to share the video to those you might think would enjoy this music. And have a great week, have a safe week, and we will see you back here next Sunday at 7 Central. We will finish up just a few more Tanya Tucker songs, like three or four. And then we move on to sort of a collection of tea artists. Tennessee Ernie Ford, Tex Ritter, I don't know, a couple, 2 or 3 others. And I think we'll finally get started at the end of next week on Tom T. Hall, and then we'll be doing Tom T. Hall for a while. So, that's it. Have a great evening. Thanks so much for tuning in. Good night, everybody.